because for this camera, I'm going to cover up.
I'd like to call the board meeting to order. And Ms. Ostlund, if you will call the roll, please.
Miss Alicia Coco,
Here.
Mr. Anthony Gomez, Mr. AJ Harris.
Here.
Mrs. Carrie Schaefer,
Here.
Ms. Patrice White.
Here. We'll move on to approval of the agenda. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the agenda of the April 26, 2023 Board of Education meeting. Action by the Board of Education and adoption of a consent agenda means that all items are adopted by one singular motion unless a member of the Board of Education, treasurer, or superintendent requests that any such item be removed from the consent agenda and voted upon separately.
So moved.
Second. Thank you. Would you call the roll?
Yes, it was. Ms. Coco,
Aye.
Mr. Harris.
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer.
Aye.
And Mrs. White.
Aye. Welcome, everybody. Our vision, Cuyahoga Falls City Schools, the hub of our community, committed to a culture of caring. We innovate, we create, we personalize education for all. Our mission, every student, every day, every opportunity. Our opening ceremony, informational items. This meeting is a meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business. It is not a public community meeting, although there are opportunities for public participation. If an individual wishes to address the board regarding a topic found on the meeting agenda, the individual must complete a registration form found inside the attendance notebook and present it to the treasurer. Following the introduction of the topic by the board president, followed by board discussion, the individual will be recognized. If an individual wishes to address the board regarding a topic not found on the meeting agenda, he or she must notify the superintendent and/or board president of the topic no later than 3 business days in advance of the meeting. These individuals may share their comments during the board business portion of the agenda. In addition, in public session, the board will not hear complaints about school personnel nor against any person connected with the school system. An unabridged board agenda for this meeting can be found on your electronic device at www.boarddocs.com. For your convenience, hard copies of the board agenda may be found on the table by the sign-in book. The next regularly scheduled meetings of the Cuyahoga Falls Board of Ed is May 10th, 2023 at 5:30 p.m. in the Cuyahoga Falls High School Library, 4th Street, Cuyahoga Falls. And now for a pledge of allegiance and positive reflections, Mrs. Carrie Schaefer.
Please stand as you're able and join with me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, my positive reflection for this evening is by an unknown author. It is, a positive attitude is contagious, but don't wait to catch it from others. Be a carrier.
Thank you, Ms. Schaefer. And now we'll move on to our presentations. Up first, our Staff Star Award with Mrs. Ellen McClure presenting.
Hi, everybody. My gosh, it's a great night. Everybody's here. So the Staff Star Award is a way for our staff to recognize each other for the great things that they are doing every day for our kids. So I'd like to recognize tonight Mrs. Nicole Pachata, and I was looking for her. Well, there she is. Come on up. She's got signs and everything. They buried all my stuff. So Nicole is a paraprofessional at Preston Elementary School. I'd also like to invite Ms. Tammy Brown to come on up. Tammy is the principal at Preston, so she can be part of this. So Nicole had 2 recognitions, so I'm going to read both of them. And then I'll give Nicole a chance to say a couple of words and Tammy the chance if she'd like to too. So Mrs. Pichata's co-workers say that Mrs. Pichata truly goes above and beyond for her students in ways that completely encompass creating positive learning opportunities every day for every child she works with. She goes above and beyond to help all students, not just the students that she works with, and she goes the extra mile to be that helping adult that so many of our students admire and look up to at Preston. She is up, down, and all around for every student she helps, and we are always happy to have her in their classrooms. And her principal, Tammy Brown, says, Nicole Pichata is one of those co-workers you are glad to have around you each and every day, and her presence is missed when she's not here. Over the last 8 years, I've been blessed to work with her and be witness to her hard work, creativity, and dedication to helping students and staff succeed and grow. Nicole is a paraprofessional at Preston, and when I looked up the actual definition of her job, here's what I found. Paraprofessionals will work with children individually or in small groups by providing basic instruction on reading, writing, math, and other education-related activities as assigned by the teacher's directions. This seems to cover maybe about half of what Nicole does every day. She believes the needs of the whole child must be met before other things can happen. Her dedication to the social, emotional well-being of our students is what helps them experience academic success every day. She would not like me to give you a detailed list of all the things she does at Preston daily, because that's not what this is about. Nicole believes our jobs are all about loving our kids and giving them whatever they need to thrive and to be their very best. She knows that means taking care of the adults too. Any staff member at Preston will tell you what Nicole does for them, and they will have a list of those things. Nicole, we appreciate you more than words can say, and you are truly deserving of the District Star Award. Congratulations.
So I hope you all have a Nicole in your life. And that extra mile, I'm gonna say what she would like me to say, I think. As you can tell by the unruly group on this side of the room. Nicole truly believes that that extra mile, we travel together. And she is not happy that she has this focus and we're looking at her because it's a group effort, but she is amazing. She leads that group and we are all better because she blesses our days. So thank you for recognizing her. I truly appreciate it.
I just want to say thank you. As you can see, it's a group effort, and I love you all, and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
We're going to present Nicole with the Star Award, and it says, in recognition of your outstanding contribution to the achievement of Cuyahoga Falls City School District students and support of Cuyahoga Falls City School District staff members. Thank you. And I think pictures, right? Oh, pictures too.
Ready? Okay. Our next presentation is the OMEA contest recognition. Mr. Dustin Harris, Mrs. Jennifer Culver, and Mr. Sam Holidad. I hope I said that. Holidad. Sorry, Sam.
All right, well, good evening. I'm Superintendent Andrea Solico, and I want to echo Ms. McClure's words. This is a full house, fuller than most nights, but glad to have you here and appreciate you being here. As you all know, we have an outstanding arts and music staff, departments, students, talent. I can't say enough about all of them. And so there are a number of recognitions that we have been just earning and racking up. So I can't really do it justice, but I would like to present to you three amazing people that are part of our staff that we are really appreciative of the time. I know that if those of you who are maybe artists or musicians in the room know how much time and commitment goes into performances and practice and all of that. So we just want to thank you. And I would like for you, as I say your name, to please say a couple words about your accomplishments. So, Mrs. Culver, come on, I know, you put me on the spot, I'm going to put you right back on the spot.
Thank you, Dr. Selico. I'm Jennifer Culver. I'm one of the band directors and teachers here at the high school. So I'll speak about our district was just recognized as a best community for music education by the NAM Foundation. That's an annual process that we apply to that talks about curriculum that we teach, the qualifications of our teachers, the enrollment in our programs, and so this is the we've been recognized every year since 2018. So it's quite an accomplishment for us, and it just serves as a recognition of the commitment by the board and the community to quality music education for all of our students.
We have Mr. Justin Harris, who's going to speak to us about our band.
Right, so our concert bands here at the high school, we have 4 concert bands. 3 of those concert bands participated in our OMEA district contest, and which was a couple weeks ago. Well, actually, it's been many weeks ago. And 3 of those bands qualified for state contest, and that is very unusual to have that many groups qualify to go to state. So we're very proud of the students and all the hard work that they did to earn that recognition. And then we did go to state contest, and the bands, our 3 concert bands, earned an excellent rating at Glen Oak this past weekend. So again, we were very pleased. They represented the school in a very positive way. And in Northeast Ohio, there aren't very many schools that actually have 4 high school concert bands, and when we go to contests like that and compete at OMEA, again, even fewer schools have that number of groups actually participate in OMEA and get to the state level. So other schools that are in that same arena would be like Jackson down in Massillon or North Royalton. So again, Cuyahoga Falls is right in that mix of having their concert bands compete at that level. So again, we're very proud of the students and the work that they have done. So
Awesome. My name is Sam Al-Hadid. I'm the choir director and one of the music teachers here at the high school. We've had a very eventful couple of weeks in the music department, specifically in the choral world. Also, we just wrapped up our musical Shrek, which was hopefully something that you all attended. It was really fun for us to work on as a school and as a staff, for us to work together with these amazing students and have such a great turnout for that. In terms of choir world and what we've been doing, this year we have 3 choirs that are curricular during the day, 2 of which are advanced treble chorus, and our a cappella choir competed at the district contest for OMEA, and advanced treble chorus got an excellent rating, and then our a cappella choir got a superior rating and will be competing this weekend at the state contest at Highland High School. Thank you. So we're incredibly excited for that, and if you see anyone in a cappella choir, wish them luck. We are excited to go and compete this weekend. So.
Oh, you want to get a picture?
Can't get out of it. Next presentation, the last band concert of the year is May 1st, I believe, and I think the choir is the May 10th, I think. So, if you're able, please go and hear them. Our next presentation is for our robotics club recognition with Mr. Alex Owers.
Alex here?
There he is.
We've got a lot of students in attendance tonight, so I'm going to ask them to come up quietly while I give just a little introduction. That way it's easy to introduce you all to these wonderful students. So my name is Mr. Alex Orris. I've been the Technology Integration Specialist, or CTIS, at Bullock and Roberts Middle Schools for the last 8 years. And I've had the privilege of helping our students and staff make technology learning accessible, impactful, meaningful, and memorable. So since 2018, Bullock students and Roberts students have had the opportunity to join what we started with Robotics Club and converted into Technology Club for opportunities to learn about coding, building robots, programming robots, 3D design and printing, Chromebook repair and basics. And what these students get to do is choose the areas they want to focus on. And they form groups and they help each other and they work together. And out of that work, these students displayed some skills that we wanted to take to a competition. And so in March of 2023, March 14th, there's a Neotech Technology Conference that NeoNet sponsors, and they held a robotics competition at the Summit County Educational Service Center. And so these students worked hard to participate in that competition, and I would like to recognize them tonight in front of you. So, Bot Ball is the first competition, and in Bot Ball, teams build and program their robot in a playing field to move and retrieve items that is worthy of points. And so tonight, I'd like to recognize 3 Bullock 8th graders, Tyler Eisentraut. Come on, can you guys come up and get your award? Cameron Durfee. And their other team member that can't be here tonight is Desmond Crabtree. But also for our Bot Ball team, I'd like to recognize Robert's 7th grader, Joseph Kessler, for his involvement in supporting that team. The next teams I'd like to recognize participated in Mini Sumo, and they build and program a robot to find other robots to push them out of the circle. We had 2 6th grade teams at Bullock that competed in this event. The first team I'd like to recognize won that event and took 5 points towards the overall competition. Caden Sessick. Maddie Fogel. Aletha Pond. Avery Willard. And Aiden Ryan. And our other team that participated took 3rd place overall in that competition and earned 1 point towards the overall team competition, and that was Ian Durfee, Wesley Adams, and the 3rd member that couldn't be here is Rowan Verbeek. And finally, the last event is the maze competition, where students program their robot to navigate a maze in the shortest amount of time. We had 7th grader from Bullock, Ariana Ruggles, who is holding her first place award in that event, which earned us 5 points as a team. Awesome. We also had Johnny Zatz from Bullock, a 7th grader. Johnny took 2nd place in that event and earned the team 3 points. We also had from Bullock, Craig Hargrove, who's not here tonight. He took 4th place out of that event. And I'd also like to recognize another 6th grader from Roberts, Alina Gurami, who worked to support these students. I don't think she's here tonight. So actually, for the 2nd year in a row, this Cuyahoga Falls Middle School robotics team took 1st place in the competition. They brought home that nice little trophy that Mr. Hutch can proudly display for us. They earned 14 out of a possible 27 points, beating Streetsboro, who had 10, Patrick Henry Middle School, who had 3, and then Copley and Coventry. And I just want to say our community and our schools should be extremely proud of these students. Not only did they display teamwork and leadership, perseverance and hard work, but their sportsmanship represented our district wonderfully. And thank you for their recognition.
So that's awesome. Right.
Okay, and now for our next presentation, our top Tigers, Dr. Andrea Selico.
Thank you. I think we could just skip this, don't you think, and move along with the meeting? Guys, did you wait long enough? You ready? I know we get excited, and you should be. This is great. Again, great turnout. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate you coming out and supporting your children, supporting our board, and their initiative for the Top Tigers, which is really great, that I'm going to tell you a little bit about in just a moment. But I do want to say, coincidentally, and I wish I could take credit for this and say it was well planned out on my end in showing up at the robotics competition, but I happened to be at the ESC where it took place for a meeting, and I was pulled down literally, said, you've got to go see this, you've got to go see this. So I was able to see firsthand the competition, the robotics, the different events that were taking place, and I don't know, I was like a fish out of water. I was trying to ask questions, trying to understand what they were doing. And you know, when they say, are you smarter than a 5th grader? The answer is no, because I don't know what they were doing. But I was extremely proud, and when I found out that they won after I had left, even more proud. So congratulations again to all of you. One more round of applause. All right, so on to Top Tiger. Top Tiger is an award given by the Board of Education to students from each building each month. The students are chosen by various staff members in their buildings. I get the distinct honor of reading each nomination. I'm going to ask that when I announce the students' names, you are going to come forward, you're going to stand here, I'm going to embarrass you a little bit, and then you are going to get some directions from Mr. Fry, who's back here. He's going to get your pictures, and parents or guardians who's ever here this evening, you will have a chance. Also, we'll hang around afterwards to get a group photo with all of the students, and if you would like to come back and certainly take a picture, you are more than welcome to do that. All right. I also have help this evening from Mr. Harris, and he is going to help give out some awards. And before we begin, I would like to add that we have very generous community sponsors, and without them, we really couldn't make this as great as it is. And so one of those contributing members is the Cuyahoga Falls Schools Foundation and Alumni Association, and Mr. Gary Metcalf is the executive director, and he's here with us this evening. He's going to tell you just a little bit more about that before we start our awards. So, Mr. Metcalf.
Wow, it's a big time honor to be here tonight with everybody getting all these awards. Congratulations to everybody. The Cuyahoga Falls Schools Foundation has been around since 1983. We started out with $500 and now we have over almost $700,000. And in the past 10 years, we've awarded over $1 million worth of scholarships to our seniors. We have helped out with class reunions. We have awarded teacher grants in the past 10 years, over $45,000 worth of teacher grants. We march in the Memorial Day Parade, which just is a short 6 weeks away. And you will get one of these t-shirts tonight as a top Tiger. You meet me in my office just around the corner, room 406. Afterwards, I'll give you one of these and you can wear it to the Memorial Day Parade. You'll get more information at your school later in May. We also have assisted with the entrance of Clifford Stadium, Tiger Trail, and some of our sponsors also are Donato's Pizza and Dietz's Florist. Thank you so much, and once again, congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Metcalf. All right, we ready?
Yeah.
The moment you've all been waiting for. What kind of order should we go in this evening? Does anybody know what order we typically go in? It's really complicated. Alphabetical. Yes, oh, that's a good one. It is youngest, it is. So we start with our elementary and we'll move to our high school. So those of you who are here from a high school, you have to be patient. All right, we're going to start with DeWitt. We have, first off, we have Aaron Goodrich. So Aaron, if you could come forward. Aaron earns this honor for his eagerness to learn and participate in class. He is working hard on developing his reading skills. Aaron is willing to participate in extra practice and loves to read his repeated reading passages to our principal, Mrs. Scallop. When Aaron feels successful, he beams from ear to ear. That's cute. Beam, smile. Right? All right, there we go. All right. As his teacher, it is wonderful to witness. Recently, Aaron chose to skip bonus recess that he earned in order to help a kindergarten student. He was kind and patient when working with the student. Aaron is a great example of Black Tiger pride because he cares for others and his school. We are very proud to have Aaron represent DeWitt's 4th grade as a top Tiger. All right. Our next student is Evelyn Schultz. Evelyn? Very eager. All right, Evelyn just became a Black Tiger in September when she moved to Cuyahoga Falls. Well, welcome. On a daily basis, she shows her Black Tiger pride and does what she needs to do with a sweet disposition. Evelyn is a great student who works hard and sets a quiet example for others to follow. We are so glad to have gotten to know Evelyn this year, and we can't wait to see what great things the future holds for her. The 4th grade team at DeWitt proudly selects Evelyn Schultz as our top Tiger. We have another student from DeWitt that was unable to make it last time, so we'd like to recognize her this evening, and that's Sophia Shendi. Wow. All right. Sophia, I saw her standing over there. I didn't know what grade you were in. What grade are you in, like 10? Oh, kindergarten. Okay. All right. All right, Sophia. Sophia displays the quality of a Black Tiger each and every day. She comes to school prepared and focused. She is inquisitive and always ready to learn and share. She is often the first to offer help to teachers and peers with any task. Sophia is a role model for others and a caring friend to many. Sophia's calm and kind demeanor makes her very worthy of the Top Tiger Award. All right. We're going to move on to Lincoln. And we have Davion Berger. Questionable. I know you might not be in attendance this evening, so okay. So I'll tell you a little bit about Davion. It's going to be.
He's gone.
Oh, it is Davion. Oh, okay. All right. Just take over.
Oh, well.
Very excited. All right, well, let him giggle. That picture is important. All right, so the Davion, this is going to be funny because it says the Davion you see in front of you right now, which is over there, but we did get to see him, is so incredibly different than the Davion that entered Miss Teeter's classroom in August. It is hard to put into words how proud she is of the hard work and tremendous growth she has seen from him this school year. Davion had never attended school prior to this year, and the transition into kindergarten did not come easy. However, every single day, Davion has demonstrated a new skill, a new talent, or new knowledge that just blows me away. He is a wonderful friend to everyone in our class, and his smile is contagious. Ms. Teeter is so very proud of how far he has come, and she cannot wait to see how far he will go in the future. Keep up the good work, buddy. All right, our next student is Leia Gaskins. Leia shows her Black Tiger pride every day. She consistently works hard. There you go. She consistently works hard, shows enthusiasm for learning, and makes responsible choices. She arrives each day with a positive attitude and actively engages in learning. She is a leader in small groups throughout each day. Leia models kindness and respect to everyone. She is a friend to all. Mrs. Hilkert is proud to recognize her as a first grade top tiger at Lincoln Elementary. Preston. Preston, we have Miriam Hamiri. Okay, Miriam. No. Okay. Miriam is such a delightful young lady with a smile that brightens the room. She follows directions and can always be counted on to do the right thing. Her reading has improved so much due to her hard work. She is a great helper to her classmates and to the adults. Miriam enjoys participating in class and can always be found raising her hand, hoping to be called upon to give the answer. It is a delight to have her in class, and Mrs. Hanshin cannot wait to see her continue to be a Preston leader. So congratulations. Our next student, I'm also told, is not in attendance, is Michael Simich. Just to make sure you didn't come, Michael. It has been a pleasure to watch Michael grow and mature during his days at Preston. He has always strived to learn as much as he can. As he has gotten older, he now asks big questions to further his own knowledge. Michael is a polite and kind young man, not only to the adults, but also to his peers. He is also willing to help someone and goes out of his way to make others feel accepted and included. Michael has overcome great adversity in his young life, and we cannot be more proud of the young man he has become. We will miss Michael very much as he heads to middle school, and we all hope he comes back to visit us. So congratulations. All right, who's paying attention? What school's next? Price. All right, I heard Price. All right, we'll do Price. All right. Finley Carney. Finley. That's a long walk. I know you were far in there. All right. Finley is an absolute pleasure to have in my class. He demonstrates the qualities of a student deserving of the recognition Top Tiger. Finn is a kind, caring, helpful, and thoughtful boy. He cares about his classmates and his teachers. Not only is Finn an outstanding person, but he is also a hard-working student. He works hard to always do his best at school and goes above and beyond what is expected of him. Finn always has a smile on his face and a kind word to say. It is for these reasons that Finn was chosen as one of the top Tigers in kindergarten at Price Elementary School. I am so proud of you. All right, our second student from Price is Gianna Pink. Is Gianna here? Okay. Sure, you can. You're a little tall for your age. Gianna has been a very hard worker and an excellent role model for her peers. She continues to grow into a confident reader, writer, and classmate. She has the true qualities of a black tiger, shows respect, takes responsibility, and practices safety. And what grade is she in? Kindergarten. Okay, I understand. All right, kindergarten. So congratulations to Gianna. All right, moving to Richardson, we have Nolan Hale. Soccer tonight? I knew it. How do you think I knew that? All right, Nolan Hale exemplifies black tiger pride. He never complains and takes on responsibility with ease. He is an excellent student who always does his best in and out of the classroom. Nolan excels in all academic areas. Outside of the classroom, Nolan participates in many sports. During recess, he can be found playing basketball, football, or gaga ball, but no matter what the sport, Nolan always treats his classmates and teammates with respect. That's most important. Nolan is a true role model inside and outside of the classroom and is deserving of the Top Tiger Award. All right, our second student from Richardson is Emma Murin. Emma? Okay, Emma is an absolute joy to have in class. She comes in each day with a huge smile on her face, ready to learn. She works hard in all of her classes, earning top grades. She does an excellent job participating in class discussions. The thing that impresses us the most about Emma is that she treats everyone with respect and kindness. She has such a kind heart, which makes her liked by all her peers. Outside of the school day, she enjoys playing soccer. Ooh, 2 soccer people tonight. Emma is a true role model for her classmates and is deserving of the Top Tiger Award. Okay. Last elementary school. Who is it? Silver Lake. Thank you. All right. This is audience participation, trying to get you engaged. All right. From Silver Lake, we have Oliver Horomansky. Oliver has a bright smile in my class on a daily basis. He has such a positive attitude and is a really kind and caring student. He is always there to lend a helping hand or to say kind words when someone needs it. He loves to cheer others on for their successes and sets a positive example to his classmates. Oliver lost someone very near and dear to him this school year, and he has been experiencing other challenges as well, but despite these challenges, he continues to exemplify Black Tiger pride. I am thrilled to recognize Oliver as a first grade Top Tiger for the 2022-23 school year, and congratulations, Oliver, and keep up the great work. All right, our next student at Silver Lake is Lily Mulcahy. Lily is not here, so let's hear about Lily. One of the many wonderful things about Lily is her heart. She shows kindness through her words and actions. Whether she is making another student smile when they are sad or helping others when she sees they need it, this girl has a heart of gold. Lily is hardworking and resilient and wants to do well and shows this by always giving 100% effort in everything she does. Lily has shown so much progress this year, and it's because of her perseverance and hard work. Lily is going to accomplish so many fantastic things. Congratulations. All right, middle schoolers, ready? We'll start with Bolick. And our first student is Reshma Biswa. Reshma is a model student and citizen. She always displays Black Tiger pride when working in the classroom, walking with friends in the hallway, or enjoying peers' company at lunch. If a student is absent, she is a reliable source for support. She is a good partner during partner group work since she encourages people to stay on task and do a good job. She also takes her time to complete her work in a thorough manner. All of our teachers appreciate you, Reshma. Congratulations. Next, we have Braden McCrimmon. Now, Braden. All right, Braden is a valuable member of Mr. Spreitzer's all-boys 6th grade group, BAM, Boys Advocacy and Mentoring. That is held during the WIN period at Bolick Middle School. He always arrives on time, participates when necessary, and is essentially a pillar of strength that holds the entire group together. He exhibits all Black Tiger pride characteristics and expectations. I can think of no other student that deserves top Tiger recognition for this month. Good job, Braden. Next, we're moving on to Roberts, and I believe this student was unable to make it this evening, and that's Ethan Hurst, just to double check. By all of his teacher's records, Ethan has truly blossomed during this time in middle school. According to his art teacher, Mrs. Hamilton, Ethan has always worked hard, is very respectful, and always stays to help clean up without being asked. In his time at Roberts, he has always been known as a respectful student who can be depended on to do the right thing. Although middle school has been difficult for Ethan, he deserves credit for all the effort he has put in and the perseverance he has shown, as these characteristics are what he will need to continue to find success in high school and beyond. I think middle school is tough for many students, not just Ethan. So congratulations to Ethan. All right, and lastly from Roberts, we have Aiden Smith. Aiden? Aiden is a very polite and hardworking 6th grader. Okay, he says he's in 6th grade, I believe him. At Roberts Middle School, he absolutely deserves this award. He is a student who shows up every day to do the work and to leave a positive mark on his school environment. His high grades are evidence of his tremendous work ethic, but his teachers are also appreciative of his humility, kindness, and ability to work with anyone. Aiden is a fantastic person who stands out for all the right reasons. Roberts is very lucky to have him as our top Tiger. All right, we're on to those high school students who are ready to leave us. All right, first we have Connor Carmody. Are you sure you're a senior? Okay. I've seen Connor before. He lets me in sometimes into the, right? Aren't you in the visitor center? Yeah. I thought so. Okay. One time I thought, actually now that I think about it, I thought he was an adult helping, and I was like, I was new to the district and I didn't really know anybody. And he's like helping me, and he's like ready to go into the computer, and I'm about to allow him, and I'm like, wait a minute. He then finally fesses up that he's a student. I'm like, whoa, all right, you can't do that. All right, so Connor, even though we had all that, I'll still give you the top Tiger award. All right. Connor is a senior who is completing his 2nd year in the Criminal Justice Career Program. Through his career program, he has been able to earn college credits from Stark State College while still being a student at Cuyahoga Falls High School. Connor has been a member of the high school baseball team, and in his free time, he enjoys gaming and spending time with his friends. After graduation this May, Connor, well, that could be your middle name. Connor Monner has enlisted in the Army, where he plans to pursue a career in police enforcement. Good luck, Connor, and thank you for your future service. All right, Virgil, you're up. Virgil Farmer. Virgil and I go way back. In fact, we spent the entire morning together. So Virgil is a member of my Soups troops. So we had a service learning project this morning with kindergartners. So I'm exhausted. Are you? Yeah. Okay. That's okay. I cannot be a kindergarten teacher. So kudos to all of those kindergarten teachers out there. So Virgil, on paper, Virgil Farmer is a talented, dedicated, hardworking young adult who is an attentive student. An accurate description, but that's just not the full story. To really know Virgil, one must look a bit deeper. You must experience his snarky and fun-loving humor. True. He will always be there for you when you need a boost or a loving jab to keep you motivated and striving to be the best you. He is a fierce friend who will go the extra mile. He is generous with his time. A great example of this is recently helping his classmates on his day off school, taking down their part of the art show and getting it ready for pickup all on his own. Thinking of others and his teacher's sanity, that's Virgil. In addition to the solid character traits, he knows how to juggle the heavy coursework with 4 years of marching band and 3 years symphonic band, being a leader in his workspace, in the Scouts, and being a member of the Soups troops, all while competing in art honors diploma. Another layer peeled back, and you'll find Virgil's unique way of seeing the world. This is true. He shares his profound vision through the many, many artworks he has created this year, sharing with us his perspective of the complexity of human emotions, mental exertion, and the challenges we face daily. This is a lot from this. You know Ms. Schulman is, yes, over the top. She's great with her words. So at his core is a strong, caring heart that continues to grow and can accomplish anything with empathy, understanding, and perseverance. Cuyahoga Falls High School is honored to have Virgil Farmer as a representative of the arts as a 2023 Top Tiger. Congratulations. We have one other student who was also unable to make it last time. That's Madison Wagner. Is Madison here? Oh, there you are. You might not be. I'm sorry. They said someone was. I know we have 3 this evening for that reason. All right. So Maddie has been an active member of the instrumental music program at Cuyahoga Falls High School. She has performed with the Tiger Marching Band, Symphonic Band, Pep Band, and Pit Orchestra throughout her high school career. In addition to this, she has also taken numerous academic music courses, including class piano, AP Music Theory, and currently serves as a teaching peer in adaptive music appreciation. Maddie has consistently demonstrated a high level of achievement, a dedication to achieving excellence, and a commitment to doing her best. Her achievements will serve her well as she pursues a degree in music education next year at Kent State University. Maddie is a wonderful young lady and represents the very best of Cuyahoga Falls. So just one final remark before we take some group photos, and again, you'll be able to do that. But I know if you all are sitting here listening and probably hearing the same things I am with the common themes that we hear about our students: kindness, empathy, respect, helpful, kind to others. And that doesn't just happen by coincidence. That happens because of all of you in this room. So let's have a round of applause for you. It's true. So I see some people smiling over there, but it is true. That doesn't happen by coincidence. So we have all the students here that are back here. Does anybody get an award? Sometimes someone slips through. Everybody's back here that needs to be? All right, so we're going to go ahead and get a picture, and then there are a lot of people, but we will certainly welcome you to take a picture as soon as we get settled. Just give us a second, and we'll come on over. So thank you.
Our next presentation is from Heat. Is it Mr. Bugatti coming up? I don't know.
Find out. I'm just gonna put him on the spot.
It's a nice jacket.
Okay.
We have Mr. Jim Benedict today from Heat. He'll be here to talk about LED lighting and how it can benefit the district through not only a cost savings,
Thank you, sir.
but along the educational path as well with better lighting.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Go ahead.
All right. Can everybody hear me okay? What I put in front of you, the first page is just kind of a bullet point rundown of what I'm going to go over tonight. Basically discussing quickly a summary of the project. Then I'm going to go into the energy savings and rebate that you would be eligible for right now in the process of that. And then a quick little bit about our company and what we do and how long we've been doing it and so forth. Most of the time we'll be using this packet right here, which is the second handout that I gave you. This is the actual presentation or proposal that I did for Joe. It's going to show you everything as far as all the buildings that are included in the project, the projected savings per building, maintenance savings, estimated payback period, and so on. So the first thing we'll start with is also in this packet. It starts on the third page at the bottom. You'll see that building by building, there's actually a count from when we walked through each of these buildings. We counted every fixture in every building. And then as you look through these pages, these gray areas show you building by building how many types of each light are in each building. Just to give you a ballpark idea, the 4-foot tubes, which is what's in these fixtures here, there's a little over 13,000 of those in these buildings that we're looking at. So it's a significant project that we're looking at, and bulbs that will be retrofitting in the existing fixtures. So basically what's involved with that, and what that means is the fixtures that are in the ceilings will remain. We will take the bulbs out, and there's also ballast in those existing fixtures, which is the power that runs the bulbs, basically. In an LED bulb, they do not need those ballasts, so we remove the ballast and the bulbs, which reduces one cost of having to replace the ballast. So basically, just a quick understanding, if you see like a fixture and one bulb's out or two bulbs are out, that means that the bulbs are probably bad. If you see a complete fixture that's out, that's probably the ballast that has gone bad. And when a ballast is bad, then that requires additional maintenance costs, ordering that part, having somebody that's qualified to replace that ballast come in and do that work. With an LED bulbs and in this conversion, those ballasts are removed. So anytime a bulb goes out, it's simply take the bulb out, put a new bulb in. You eliminate the extra maintenance costs, which Joe could tell you, I'm sure is pretty significant with that, and also having to order that ballast and the cost of those to replace those. Also with the bulbs, you're reducing the wattage by, in most cases, over 60%. So in a bulb that's in these fixtures right now is a 32 watt bulb primarily through most of the district. Those bulbs are reduced to 12 watts. And they actually produce a lighter, brighter white light than the existing for basically almost a third of the cost to operate. So just by switching the bulbs, you're significantly dropping the cost of your electricity usage, which that's what this graph is right here on this packet, the front page. That's what this graph shows. One of the districts that we did recently was Olentangy City Schools. We did 29 buildings for them, and they actually have a program that tracks their electricity usage. They can pull it up by building by day and just track their usage. So what this shows is, if you start down here at the bottom, that's a Saturday, Sunday. When the building's not occupied, the usage obviously is much lower. This starts a Monday, and our guys work 4 10-hour days. So you can see they start on Monday, Tuesday it went down, Wednesday it went down, Thursday it went down, and then it kind of leveled off for Friday because our guys weren't working. Then it dropped to the weekend again, and then it picked up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You can just see as they're changing the bulbs, the electricity usage is going down. So when you start a project like this or work on a project like this, you start seeing savings from the first bulb that we touch instead of having to wait to see those savings and recoup those savings all the way at the completion of a project. So that's what that graph was to show you, is just that you instantly will start seeing saving once a project like this starts. Also, LED bulbs, they're rated to last about 50,000 hours. So you're looking at about 12 to 15 years before a bulb goes bad. So compared to the current bulbs you have now that are 10 to 20,000 hours, the LED bulbs last significantly longer. So you have less costs, obviously, again, and maintenance with not having to replace bulbs all the time. And then the last point for the bulbs in that part of the project is we use what's called a flicker-free bulb. With LED lighting, I told you that the ballasts are removed from your fixtures. That's what helps level out the electricity flow through bulbs in these fixtures now. In an LED bulb, it's what's called a driver. It's actually built into the bulb itself. And if you use a driver that's inexpensive or not high quality, you get a higher what's called flicker rate. And what that does is it's a significant amount of people, but it can cause migraines, seizures. It can affect pregnant people, elderly, with an LED flicker. So cheaper bulbs that don't have a driver that's made to be flicker free, you can have issues come from that. And there's easy ways to see that. You can't see it. Most people can't see it with the naked eye. Very few can. But if you take your camera on your phone, turn it to slow motion, and take a video of the fixture, and then play it back, you'll see a flicker or not flicker. And afterwards I could show you that if you wanted to see it. But it affects people. So especially in schools, you definitely don't want to take the risk of having that with the number of community members that come in and out of buildings at different times. It definitely would be something that would become an issue if that was the case, if you had bulbs that had a higher flicker rate.
Can we ask questions, or you want to wait till the end?
No, go ahead, please.
So I know in the district there are I shouldn't say a lot, there are a few classrooms that have like a cover,
blue cover.
a sheet over
Yeah.
top of some of the light bulbs.
Yeah.
And I'm not 100% sure what part that's helping, but it seems to help with the fluorescent lights we currently have. So is that something then they wouldn't need to do?
They probably wouldn't know. Some people are just comfortable with that and
I think it softened
do
it,
it
and I'm not
again.
sure if it was necessary
Yeah.
for
And
migraines.
LED, I don't know if you've been in buildings where you knew it was LED, but like it's a much whiter, brighter, more like sunlight. It's basically
more natural light.
It's supposed to mimic natural light more. Like the tubes that we put in are typically 5,000 K. These are probably 3,500 to 4,000. So which that just tells you like kind of the yellowness of the light. The lower that number gets, the more kind of yellow the lighting looks. But a 5,000 K is what's supposed to be closest to natural sunlight, which helps stimulate and keep people alert in the classrooms and just creates a brighter environment for learning.
And my other question about that was,
Yeah.
You said they were rated for 50,000 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Is that pretty standard, or like that's like the max, and their average lifespan?
No, that's pretty much across the board. The LED tubes are 50,000 hours. Typically what we've done, and I'll use Olentangy again as an example, but anytime we do a project like this, when we get done, we leave extra bulbs of every type of bulb that we put in. we leave extras, because especially in something this size where there's 13,000 tubes, there's gonna be some that go out, you know, either while we're still here or within a week or two after, just through manufacturing or whatever. There's
Like
gonna
a
be.
Home Depot,
Yeah.
if you need an extra ball, where you would just go pick one up, or you have to order them special.
You could do either, but like I said, we leave extra with you. One of the districts that I took another district walk through, we did their project 3 years ago. We left them a case of 4-foot tubes, which is 36 bulbs. We left those 3 years ago, and they had 33 of them left. They had replaced 3 bulbs in 3 years. And they said they were pretty much right when, soon after the installation happened. So really, once they're in, you're good for a while. But the bulbs that we use come with a 5-year warranty. So if stuff does go out, we can replace. You can use the ones that we provided to replace them, and then we just send the bad ones back and warranty them out, get the new ones back, and then you just replenish your stock with those. So we've been doing LED projects for years, and we've only had, I think, 2 customers order bulbs again. And that was, one of them was because they did an addition, or I forget, was something ran that they would just have to, they just needed more bulbs. And the other one was they wanted some additional ones. But yeah, once you put LED bulbs in, you're pretty good for a long time as far as that goes.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I can show you real quick. It's actually the last page of the bigger packet. That's the one that I told you about. That lists every building, and it lists the cost per building. It shows you the estimated annual utility savings, maintenance savings, which again, as I discussed, that's includes buying the ballast as well as the time that it takes for people to install those. And then the payback period, the estimated payback period. And that's not including the rebate dollars that you would get back, which I'll discuss here in a little bit, but that doesn't factor those into this equation at all. So, are there any questions about this? Typically how the energy savings are calculated, we use the standard, like what the OFCC uses if they do a house bill project or something. They have standard hours, like a high school uses 3303, a middle school uses 2875 for operating hours per year. So that's what we use to calculate the savings, because that's the most standard numbers. Yours could vary a little bit, but probably not much. So then just using all those bulb counts based on those hours gives us the energy reduction that you'll see from these projects.
Jim, what's the estimated time frame for installation? What's that usually take for these buildings?
It typically, it's usually the easiest way to calculate it, like a normal 4-foot fixture. We calculate our guys can do 4 to 6 of those per hour.
Okay.
So we can typically, like a smaller elementary, like I think Silver Lake's smaller, like a smaller elementary like that, we would probably do in a couple weeks maybe. Okay. A bigger school might take a month. You know, it also just depends on what we're working around as well.
Right.
And that's something I'll get into later too. But we work 4 10-hour days, but we work first, second, or third shift, depending on what works for your district. But also we can work first shift here, and then if there's other stuff going on, or there's an event and you want us to move to third shift, like we can. It's not, you don't have to say we want you to work first shift and that's it for the whole project. We're kind of flexible as far as that goes.
Okay.
But it also, in a building, it depends how often or what we're working around. If our guys can just go, then obviously it's faster. If they have to stop, move because something else is going on, which is fine, we can do that. But obviously there's a transition time with moving stuff around and things like that. But
And for them to work off shifts, there's no premium. So whether it be second or third, we probably wouldn't have them work third, but second shift.
Yeah.
If it's something we did during the school year, there's not a premium. So,
Okay.
And while we're on that, I'll just hit on some things about our employees as well. We use all of our own employees, so we don't subcontract out anything. All the work is done by our employees that have all been drug screened, background checked. Even once they're hired, we're part of a random drug screening program. Wherever our project is, our crew works the 4 10-hour days, but it's the same guys, and they stay locally. So they come Monday, work through Thursday, but they stay here locally during that time. So people get to recognize the same guys are going to be in the building all the time. They'll know what's going on. You won't have people here 2 days and then nothing for a while, and then 3 different guys come back and they don't know what the other 2 did. And so it just makes everything flow much better that you'll have one main contact person that will be here every day, and you'll know which building we're in each time. They're all going to be wearing heat apparel, so they're easily identifiable by everybody, student, staff. Like I said, a lot of times with us working second, third shift, most of the students and staff don't ever see our guys. So, but if there's events going on and they see people walking around, they'll easily know that it's us that's here doing that. Any questions about the costs, the breakdown as far as that stuff goes? It's pretty straightforward. Basically, the whole project has a payback period of 3.1 years, and that's even actually a little bit higher, like I said, because that doesn't factor in the rebate, which I'll talk about here next a little bit. Are you guys familiar at all about the rebates, or that you even have the potential for energy rebates, or heard of anything about that before?
I've heard it in the world, but I don't know anything
Yeah.
specific.
So it started several years ago, and actually I was surprised because most electric companies aren't offering them anymore. Like AEP quit offering them almost 3 years ago. Ohio Edison quit offering them. But basically it was a motivation to get people to convert to LED lighting. So based on the size of your project, the kilowatt hours you were going to save, the electric companies will give you a rebate back for doing an energy conservation project like this. So you guys are lucky because Cuyahoga Falls Electric still has a program in place. So you are eligible for a rebate, and kind of the way the process goes is each year, like they have an allocated amount for this year, like whatever it is, I don't know what it is, say it's $1 million that is allocated to an energy rebate program. So anybody in Cuyahoga Falls Electric that does a project, whatever their rebate amount, it comes out of that pool of money. When that money's gone, then there's no more rebates for that year. And then they decide for the next year, one, if there's even going to be a program, and then if there is, how much money there's going to be allocated for that year for it. So what you do, and say you decide to do this project, there's a pre-application process, which we would handle for you. It's filling out, basically a lot of it is submitting those numbers that are in those gray boxes that I told you. Every light fixture that's going to be changed, how much energy that's going to reduce, what we estimate the savings, all that stuff. That's submitted as a pre-application to the electric company. They typically will come out and want to walk through the buildings and just get an overview of what the project would look like. Again, I would handle that and be here with them, and Joe or Aaron or anybody that would want to join would be able to too. And then there's a bunch of paperwork that you have to fill out, which we would fill that out, and then basically just hand it to you guys to review and sign, because it's your paperwork, even though we're completing it for you. Then once all that's done, they'll approve the project, and at that point, that's when they'll tell you exactly how much rebate you're going to get. So you'll know before the project starts how much you're going to get. Right now, if they have full money, and as far as the way I understand their program, you'll probably be in the $35,000 to $40,000 rebate range, is what I would estimate right now. But again, without knowing how much they have allocated for this year, when you're actually going to do the project, that type of stuff, that could change. That's why we never put it in our calculations as part of the savings or part of the project, because you just don't know that exact number until you get to that approval point in the process. So once they approve that, Then we do the project, and then when the project's done, we let them know. Typically, they'll come out and walk through again just to make sure that we really did do it. And then at that point, they'll issue that check right directly to you guys. We'll do all the paperwork again. You guys will sign off on it that yes, the project's done. And then the check is issued and sent directly to you guys. We don't take any, some companies will take a percentage of it and send you the rest. We have the check come right to you, that way you know you're getting everything, and we're not in the middle of that at all. Any questions about that? Pretty straightforward process again. And then again, the last thing I was going to hit on was just information about us. I kind of touched on some of the stuff. We've been doing this since 1999 was when our owner started this company. Probably 80% of the work we do is with school districts. So we're very familiar with working around school schedules and how to basically stay as invisible as we can, not affect the school days at all. Like I said, we do first shift, second shift, third shift, depending on what works best for you guys. We're used to moving around with conferences or games or any type of events that go on in the buildings. There's always something going on in the building, and we can make sure that we stay out of the way of any of those things as we go, even if it's moving from one building to another building at points, just to be out of the way. On the back of this sheet, which is just the one flyer about us, I touched on already that all the work that we complete all of our own work, we don't subcontract, and working around your schedule, and then obviously our years of experience. And then down at the bottom is a small list of some of our recent projects that we've done. We've done school projects with districts that have 2 buildings, and we've done districts that have 29 buildings. So it's a wide range. When you're working with schools, it really doesn't make a difference how many buildings there are. It's just you're doing the same thing just however many times. But it's more the schedule of being comfortable working around a school schedule versus a business or something like that. So that's what we've been able to pick up over the years with doing so many school districts, is how to do that. So that's a quick rundown. What questions you got? Anything? The light bulbs are pretty exciting. You could talk all night about it, I'm sure.
I have a question. So you're retrofitting, and they don't need ballast anymore.
Correct.
So this might seem like a simple question. It's probably not a simple answer. How do they work without ballast?
It's called direct wire. So right now the wires go into the ballast, then wires come out of the ballast and then go to it's called the tombstones, which is the piece that holds the bulb in place. Now you just take that that ballast part out, and the wires go together.
So there's nothing extra that's in there with the lights that could go bad, like ballast go bad?
Nothing. And that's one of the big benefits is right now, cost of a ballast, I don't know if you happen to know, but they're not cheap. And then, like I said, you also have to have somebody that's qualified to be able to do more electrical type of work than somebody that can just go up and change a bulb. Once you get the LED bulbs in, that's it. It's take a bulb out, put a bulb in, yeah, just like you would at home.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And the buildings that are listed are the proposed buildings that would be getting the service?
Yes, and those are proposed because obviously we don't have the high school in there, we don't have BOE in there. We felt, obviously, 3 years down the road, we'd just be getting our payback back, so there was no need to do those buildings. And we threw Schnee in there just in case we end up keeping it or,
Yeah, that was gonna be my question is, and when the new building opens, and what are we gonna do with the, unoccupied buildings, it's still kind of up in the air and we're putting money in it, but they'll pay for themselves by the time that it's even an issue, so that was.
Basically you'll be saving about $97,000 a year just in electric, just by doing this project. So, you can kind of look at it like, basically every year you don't do this, you're spending $97,000 more than you need to, just on electricity that you aren't even, you don't even see it going, but it's
What a
going.
bummer. All that money.
The second piece of it really is the type of light that it will now, the fixtures will now generate, which will help the educational process.
I was just
So-
gonna
so
get
that's-
back to
that will
that.
be-
Yeah.
That's
It's a
something
much-
we're
much
touched on,
brighter.
but, yeah.
Yes, it is better academically for
Absolutely,
students.
there's
so-
studies that have been done, you
Yes.
can pull them up, I'm sure you've probably seen some of them, but yeah, it's, and that's why we use the brighter, the 5000K is the brightness of the light, and that's why we use those, is because that's basically the brightest normal light that you can get into. Like you get into like 7,000, that's like grow lamp, like that type of stuff, like you're getting it out of what you normally put in facilities, so 5000K is the brightest, whitest light that you would use in a normal building.
And I'm glad you touched on the flicker-free bulbs as well.
Yes. And I can show you this real
I've
quick
been
if
reading
you.
about the
I'll
That
pull
is,
it.
that's neat, yeah.
It's interesting. You'll find it real quick.
I actually took a slow motion video of at Christmas time, and my Christmas tree was flickering.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that it was until I
Oh,
looked at the
that makes
slow
it more
motion.
festive.
And that-
Yeah.
Most
We're
people won't pick that
seizure
flicker up,
inducing,
but
so-
there
And
are
yeah, you
some.
can't
that
see
are.
it.
Well, like if you go to
So I'll
Sam's
show
Club
you.
and you scan the QR code for your card at the gas pump, and it
Oh,
it
yeah,
flashes.
So these two bulbs, like if you look at them side by side, they look exactly the same. This one you can see a tiny little bit of flicker
Oh,
in
yeah,
that
uh-huh.
one, just a little bit. And then this one is what it would look like.
Oh,
Wow.
That's the, like,
Yeah.
but looking at the two bulbs side by side, you can't tell a difference.
And those are
Right.
both, one's a flicker, one's a non-flicker.
No, they're actually the two bulbs I brought, but
Oh.
I didn't
Right.
see a plug
Oh.
close. So this is basically what I was gonna show you, is they look
That's
exactly,
crazy.
they look exactly the same when they're plugged in, but then when you do the slow motion, it goes from, it's that
It's a
to
huge
that.
difference, wow.
It's a
Wow.
difference.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But that's what you get with cheaper bulbs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's 20%, I mean, you can't, it's hard to measure a flicker rate, you have to have crazy, there's equipment for that, but 20% or higher is considered high flicker. So, once you get above that, that's the number where some people can start seeing it and being affected by it.
With these bulbs, how much flicker would be?
They don't have it because of that's what the ballast does,
Oh,
is
okay.
it eliminates the flicker. And that's what the driver in an LED bulb is supposed to do. But if you
Okay.
put a cheap driver in, it doesn't do what it's supposed to do.
Got it.
And that's the easiest way for companies to cut costs, is to put a cheaper driver in. But then you get what you pay for, kind of, and then you're dealing with the potential for issues with that flicker rate, so. All right?
Awesome. Thanks, Jim, appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yep, thanks, yep, good seeing you.
okay, and our next item is E, Treasurer, CFO's Business Consent Agenda. Miss Ostlin.
I'll take it. Thank you, Ms. White.
Yes.
I would like to recommend that the Board of Education approve all items listed in the Treasurer's CFO's Business Consent Agenda. And
So-
that, oh, I'm sorry, did you want me to go over it?
So moved.
Okay. A second.
Now if you have comments.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, so in this, we do have the approval of the minutes from both April 12th, which was a regular board meeting, April 20th, which was a regular board meeting. We have the financial transactions, the donations. We have some extremely generous people within the community and businesses. And then we also have the contract for services for Julian Group. It's the GAP, and what was known as the CAFR is now the ACFR. And that's everything in the consent.
Okay. Any questions? Call the roll.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Okay, and the last part I have is the financial transactions in the reports. So I would like to recommend that the Board of Education approve the March 2023 investment schedule and monthly spending report.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, and this is just the same report you get every month, so if there's any question.
Questions? Okay, call the roll.
Okay. Mr. Harris.
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer.
Aye.
Ms. White.
Aye.
Ms. Coco.
Aye.
And that concludes my portion.
Any comments?
I just love to be
Thank you for
here.
joining us.
So I was class of 92 from Cuyahoga Falls. I love to be up there.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah.
And I didn't have you, shoot.
93.
Yeah. you're a little-
92.
okay, all right.
92. Yeah, both of us.
It's okay, I guess. Okay, and we'll move on to Superintendent, CEO's business, Ms. Selico.
Thank you. I'd like to recommend that the Board of Education approve all the items listed in the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. Just I think a couple things here to note. One is that we have the contract agreement, which is, we're grateful for Kent State allowing our soccer players to have their stadium again. We also have the School Links contract. I did provide you with some additional information. There were some questions that came up at board prep that could just help fill in some gaps for you on that. But again, it's something that we already are using. It's a tool that we already, as I said, are accessing grades 6 through 12 with our counselors. It was formerly known as Naviance that we've used, and this is just another tool that we use to connect students for post-graduation and partnering businesses with our grads. And we talked about that at our Business Advisory Council, and this is one of the suggestions that came out of here, that we add that, and it's not expensive at all. It's $1 a student. And then just pointing out the two Dean of Students that I'm going to recommend to you this evening. That is Danielle, and I believe Danielle was here. Danielle, are you back there still? Okay. Danielle Terlage is the Dean of Students at Lincoln Elementary, and Chris Van Kuren is the Dean of Roberts. And again, just recommending these two that have been with us for a number of years as teachers to provide additional support for our teachers and our office personnel. They're larger schools. Mr. Van Kuren has already been acting as a part-time assistant, if you will, and so we would like to recommend some more support for those two schools. So with that, that concludes my recommendation.
Any questions?
I have one quick question.
Yes.
I should have asked it before. The School Links, did you say it was previously Naviance, or we used to use Naviance? It's not the same.
Is it this?
It's not
the
renamed,
same, but it's
it's a new one. I mean, not new,
replacing
but
Naviance?
it replaced Naviance. Okay,
Yeah,
thank
sorry
you.
if I misspoke, but yeah, it replaces Naviance.
Anybody else? More questions? Okay. Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Schaefer.
Aye.
Ms. White.
Aye.
Ms. Coco.
Aye.
Mr. Harris.
Aye.
And comments from our superintendent.
Sure, a few things to note. First off, today is Administrative Assistant Day. So thanks to all of our wonderful assistants who take very good care of us. This evening, or this day, today, we provided at Central Office a little pampering for our assistants, along with a catered lunch, and we're real appreciative of that. They enjoyed that and got a chance to sit with them at lunchtime. So just want to mention that to all of the administrative assistants out there. Thank you for taking, again, such good care of us. Also, I mentioned the Soups Troops. This morning, we had our last, probably our final service learning project for the year. My students showed up, and we had 2 kindergarten classes from Richardson attend. So the students were battling about which building that we would invite to have the students, because all the elementary principals wanted to participate, and their teachers were excited. But Richardson won out because the majority, 3 of the students of my 5, went to Richardson. So 2 Richardson classes came. I'm very tired. We ran around the gym a lot. We did a craft. We did trail mix. They each got to make. We played a little game with that. We did musical chairs, and we did a cakewalk. So, yeah, tired. Great appreciation for teachers in general, I'll say. But so that was today, and my students also enjoyed themselves very much. And I know some of you will mention this, so I won't take it all up, but the play was absolutely amazing. I'll leave it at that. Shrek, totally enjoyed that. And I was also at the night of the races. I went to support our athletic boosters. That was also very, very fun. And my horse won.
All right.
I was getting texts because I was not there yet, and I was getting texts that my horse won. And then also the art walk, of course, I'm sure you'll mention again. Just shout out and just kudos to our team for just an amazing evening. So enjoyable. I also spoke that evening at the Democratic Club. They asked me to come and speak with Miss Leslie there, invited me, so I appreciate that opportunity to get in front of the group. And we served, as you know, we served popcorn. I won't say much more about that. Healthy competition among our team, but it was fun. It was a little stressful, for a while. So just been busy. This Friday I do have a legislative breakfast. I'm part of I actually joined Cuyahoga County. As you know, I came from Cuyahoga County, so I still remain intact with that group over there. And so we have some legislative breakfast with our House reps and senators, and we get in front of them to discuss a number of issues that are important to us. So I have that this Friday, and we have about 5 so far that we know of that will be in attendance as legislators. So you guys are keeping me busy. So, thank you.
Thank you. And board business. We have policies adoption, and we are ready to go. I don't know that I need to make a motion. It's under consent, but I thought that maybe I should. Yes. Yeah. So I will take a motion. It is recommended that the Board of Ed approve and adopt the following policies: school board governance, support services, instruction, student and education agency relations.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Okay, call the roll. Sorry.
There was a small typo in one of them.
Okay.
Oh, okay. We'd like to know that. Which
Yeah,
one?
you
Do you
can
remember?
send.
Oh, you just let us know.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
thank you.
Yeah.
And you're right, Mrs. White, it says consent. I don't think we should have had that in there either, so you are right.
Okay.
Okay. Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Okay. And number 2, we have an audience member that would like to speak, Miss Amanda Kilchko. I hope that I said that name right.
It was spelled wrong, but
Oh,
Kuko.
I'm sorry.
Kuko. It's the J's just silent.
I see. Okay.
You weren't far off. You did a lot better.
All right.
All right. Thank you all for having me here to speak tonight. My name is Amanda Kulko. I'm coming to you today as a concerned parent. My sister, brother, and I all attended Silver Lake Elementary as kids. I moved back to the area after having my son for the sole purpose of him to go to school there as well. Clearly, it goes without me saying that the world is a very different place from when I was in school. As a parent, my son's starting kindergarten next year. I have a plethora of concerns for school safety. After meeting with the safety subcommittee last week and hearing about the Ohio School Council assessment that was done in September of last year, I was initially excited to see the recommendations for improvements. I was also very excited to see the 162 work orders for improvements that have been done to date, as well as the grant the district received for $900,000. I think everybody's doing a great job making strides to make our schools safer. Mr. Baghetti explained the top priorities they intend on using the grant money for, like updating the PA systems, additional cameras, door alarms, strobes to notify of lockdowns. Although I think those are all great, I believe we need more. The recommendation for the ballistic films on doors and the windows, I believe, is a must-have. The safety badges for all staff on hand is a must-have. He did explain that they aren't sure yet of the cost and aren't sure they would have enough to do all of that with the grant money, which brings me to my next topic. We are one of the largest school districts in Summit County. If we can pass a levy to build a $113 million new high school and middle school, I truly believe we can raise the money to tighten up security in all of our schools. We have 1 resource officer for 9 schools. 1. I met with the mayor and chief of police in Stowe. They also have 9 schools, but they have 4 police officers rotating, 1 at the high school full-time, 1 DARE officer rotating amongst the schools, and 2 officers floating around the schools daily. I truly believe we're underestimating what we're capable of, not only as a school district, but as a city. We have more than enough businesses, residents, and most importantly, concerned parents that would be more than happy to donate to make our schools safer for our children. I think we need to do a massive fundraising event. I think we need to reach out to the community, social media, and the news to show we have the ability to be the district to hit the ground running and set the bar high for safer schools. There have been more mass shootings than days this year, a record high of school shootings last year. Thankfully, it hasn't happened to us, but what if it does? Are you confident in saying that we have more than enough in place and have done all we can do to protect our children? And I also have a PowerPoint that I made, but I'm sure I'm running out of time. So I printed it. It's on the Sandy Hook Promise. I don't know if you're familiar with it. I don't know if it's implemented in the schools here. If it is, great. If it's not, I have information on it, and I make QR codes for all of the sites as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take those if you want to.
Yeah.
Yes, well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you.
I think I have your contact information. You emailed me, right? I think.
I feel like I've emailed a lot of people. But
Okay.
yes, I know I've emailed you.
Okay, your name seems familiar, so I think we did talk. Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to future agenda items. Any future agenda items?
I don't have any more suggestions.
Okay, committee reports. I'm up first with the construction core team. I'm not gonna really, because it was pretty much the PL, the planning committee that we did, so I don't have anything really new from that. So if you are fine with that, plus we get our updates from the construction crew, so. Athletics and activity, Ms. Schaefer?
I don't have anything.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't think board policy, there is none. Business Alliance?
Our next meeting is May 9th, the last meeting of the year, and it will be at Joshua's, which is part of the CTE program out in Stowe with the culinary program. Yes.
Thank you. Financial Advisory Committee, Ms. Schaefer?
We'll be meeting in May.
Okay. And Foundation Alumni, Mr. Gomez is not here tonight, but I just wanted to say that May 9th is at 7 p.m. at the high school. The CFSFAA scholarship and grants will be awarded that evening. And legislative liaison.
Yes, a couple updates here. Today, the Ohio House passed its version of the state's two-year budget, the substitute House Bill 33 by 77 to 19 vote. Earlier in the week, the House Finance Committee accepted an omnibus amendment. Some of the changes to the budget include an income tax cut combining the bottom two tax brackets and lowering the lowest rate to 2.75%. This is a blow to Ohio's only tax that is based on the ability to pay. It weakens public programs, institutions, and the supports that Ohioans get. And most of these proposed cuts will benefit the wealthiest 20% of Ohioans. An update, another change to the budget, an update to the Fair School funding formula, changing the base cost inputs from fiscal year 18 to 22, which would be something close to a $1.4 billion positive impact. Funding for a comprehensive study to determine the needs of economically disadvantaged students. That study will be focusing on the planning and the costs to offer such services. Another change, increase school voucher eligibility to 450% of the federal poverty level. That's about $135,000 in annual income for a family of four. Another change, a requirement for the Ohio Department of Education to provide reimbursements to make school breakfast and lunch free for all students eligible for reduced price meals, up to 185% poverty level. I want to give a shout out to to Representative Weinstein for advocating for this in Columbus. Mr. Gomez and I did make clear to him that this is definitely a start, but we would like to see further movement on this so we can get all of Ohio's students fed. Another change, the raising the Ohio teacher's minimum salary from $30,000 a year to $40,000 a year. Again, this is good movement in the right direction, but there's much work to be done. Another change, they would make a phonics-based science of reading. I think I mentioned this a couple meetings ago. This was an original proposal in the governor's budget that we were able to attend down in Columbus. The science of reading is a requirement of all public and charter schools. But what it does is it bans districts from using any other method besides that specific method. I believe queuing will be, you can't use queuing, anything like that. And Mr. Gomez and I did make clear again to Representative Weinstein that we aren't fans of this attempt to control literacy, as it could lead to a slippery slope of one-way control in other areas of education. A couple other things here. They changed they removed the requirements that students who fail the third grade reading exam be held back, and they also loosened licensing requirements for military veterans who want to teach in Ohio schools. Again, that passed the Ohio House and is on to the Ohio Senate. They'll begin testimony here soon, and that will go into May. So I'll keep you guys posted on all that.
Thank you. Yeah, those are important. And finally, Student Achievement Liaison, that was me. Basically, we met and we went over the panorama results, and they were better than what we thought for the most part. There were a couple areas that were a little in need, and I didn't bring my notes, I'm so sorry. But from what I remember, there were just several areas across that need a little more attention. But in a lot of respects, we did improve on that. And the panorama survey is how the students actually feel and what they think about their environment, safety, wellness. But the one thing when I was looking at it that I do remember and that kind of gave me a little bit of heartache was some of them mentioned that they don't feel loved in any way. 24%, I think it was around there. And that just kind of, I just went, oh man, that kind of got to me. So something to think about down the road and look at, and which are the teams will. We kind of meet in building teams and they go over their data for each school, and it was interesting to see, what kind of the kids, how they were doing, and better in some and, not as good in others. So I'm sure the teams will keep an eye on those things. I think, did I miss anything that you'd like to add?
Looking at our action steps and
Yeah,
kind of how we're holding ourselves accountable for the action steps that we set in December, and they reflected on their action steps and then revised their plans and how they're using the data
And go forward from there. So, thank you. Okay, and finally, comments. Ms. Schaefer, you're up first.
All right. So, mention again, Shrek. Super great. I loved it. The backgrounds were great. The musicians were great. The acting and the singing was great. And they had two students from Richardson, the young ones.
Yes.
They did a great job. When I was leaving the musical, there was a young one walking out with their mom or dad and said, I don't want it to be over. I was like, that's so cute. I'm like, yeah, same. It was pretty good. And then the art walk, wow. I didn't even get to go to everything.
Yeah, me neither. I know.
But some of the artwork was still up, so we could go around afterwards to see some of the things. It was just, it's the scope of it is so enormous. I don't know how they get that all done, but it's amazing, and we were really lucky to have that in our community.
Yeah. So Ms. Schulman worked very hard, as did others.
Yeah.
Certainly, but her lead was well.
She sets the bar high.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
She sets the bar high.
Yeah, she did. I don't know how she's going to top that next year.
We say that every year.
Yeah, but she does.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
She said her,
She always does.
And I did scoop a lot of popcorn. I don't know if you scooped a lot of popcorn, but I sure did.
Yes. I think you dropped them on the floor then.
I did drop a lot on the floor.
I had a couple kernels, to be honest.
I didn't serve it. It was because we were moving so fast because we were so busy.
Yeah, it was busy. We were hopping. It was fun.
I'm going to go to Miss Coco next.
Yes, just again, congratulations to all of our top Tigers. We only have one more top Tigers this year.
Next meeting.
But I felt like the crowd was even bigger tonight than it's always large for Top Tigers,
Yeah.
but standing room
Oh, yeah.
only. It's just amazing the way that our community comes out for Top Tigers, and it's really cool to see. And so congratulations to them and the robotics team, and for the music awards, and of course our Staff Star Award winner as well. Nicole, thank you and congratulations. Again, Shrek, amazing. Somehow I went with 2 5th graders, but I ended up with 5 sitting with me. But it was really fun to see them watching Shrek. And one of the students that I had brought had never been to anything at the high school before. And she was like, I have to go back, I have to. And she's talked to me about getting involved in band, and so I was able to kind of help her family with that. But just seeing them watch and get excited about possibly getting involved at that in those activities is really cool. I know that not every musical and every play can be oriented towards the younger students, but it was really cool to see Shrek and see that with them. So, and I know last year's Cinderella was as well. So, Art Walk, of course, I didn't get to do everything either. I always have kids with me, like tagging along with me everywhere I go to these things. But that makes it fun because I get to kind of see things through their eyes too, which is what it's all about. So just thank you to everyone involved in that and the community, the way they just embrace our arts programs and do everything together. And then after the construction meeting that we had last week, I peeked into the gym for the student council, the Prince and Princess dance. And just what a great job they did. They were all in there dressed up. Moana's always my favorite, but just it was so cool to see them in there dancing and having fun with the kids in there. It was really cool. So yes,
And princesses.
yes, yes, princess and princess in there, and they were all having a great time. So thank you. Last week was Volunteer Appreciation Day, so I just want to give a shout out to all of our PTOs, PTA, the parent-teacher groups, and all the other volunteers that go into our buildings. I mean, I don't think there's a day that goes by that there aren't volunteers in all of our buildings helping our students and our staff and we could not do it without them, 100%. So thank you to them. And a lot of cool things coming up. This, of course, the scholarship recognition. A few of us will be going to the BLI, the Board Leadership Conference that's coming up this weekend. And I'll be attending the Mayor's State of the City address tomorrow. And yes, we're almost done with school. That's it.
Mr. Harris.
Yes, I don't have too much. Just congratulations to, again, to our Top Tigers and our other award recipients this evening. As Ms. Coco said, you know, seeing this room like that was, I know they're usually packed, but yeah, standing room only was an incredible sight from this perspective. I just want to give a shout out to my colleagues and the administration for all their support these last couple weeks as my wife and I get our footing with being new parents. I've been able to attend a lot of these events, but this is what's so good about having a board who is out there in the community and active. You know, we can't always be there, but you know, when I can't, you guys can, and we reciprocate that. So I want to thank you all so much. He's getting big already. He's a chunker, and I'm going to ease my way back into the schedule. But again, I do appreciate your all support as I do that. Thank you.
Not a problem at all. I also saw the little princess, and I think there were 2 princes, if I'm not mistaken, but it was cute. And I also attended the art walk, and I got a really nice history lesson about the train, the Cuyahoga Valley train. The older lady there, she pulled me aside, and she said, "Look at this picture." And it was a picture of the bar, and it had been covered up with carpeting. And underneath it was this beautiful mural. And she told me that her husband died, and so she took a train ride, I think from Chicago out to California. Well, on the train, she met a man who had pictures of the actual artwork of the mural on the bar. And so he sent her the pictures, and they were able to restore that mural, take off that carpeting and everything, and get it back. And it's just beautiful. It was marvelous, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I would never have known, you know. But she let me know, and that was so cool, along with all the amazing artwork the kids had. It was just something. I love the little balloons and the clouds and all that. It was just so beautiful. Then I also have, unfortunately, a couple of deaths, teachers that have passed. One is Kendall Taylor from Silver Lake Elementary. She was a kindergarten teacher there, and I did hear that she passed. I did not have an obit for her, but someone I pretty much trust told me that she had passed. So. And then Sue Easton from the high school. She was language arts. Actually, I am her former student, and I attended her calling hours the same night as the art walk, and her husband was there. There were a couple teachers that had taught with her, but I'm glad I talked to her husband, because he said, well, I didn't think any students would remember her. I said, oh yes, I remember, and I will talk about her. She's a former English teacher, one of my own mentors, and I was lucky enough, as I went back into teaching, to teach with her for a year before she retired. So just two wonderful women that we have lost. Any rate, this is hard. I've lost some of my favorite teachers that I had recently. I do have an article that was in the Beacon Journal, but I don't know if all our parents caught it or not, because I know I'm older, so I'd still get the Beacon, but I know a lot of people don't. So most Ohio parents now qualify for $1,000 credit for tutoring or summer camp. Most parents in Ohio can now get up to $1,000 from Ohio to send their kids to an after-school program like tutoring, day camps, music lessons, and field trips. That's after the Ohio Department of Education announced Tuesday it has expanded a credit program, Ohio After School Child Enrichment, which was designed to provide educational activities to students who experienced learning disruptions during the COVID-19 pandemic. Under the new guidelines, Ohioans up to 400% of the federal poverty line, which we wish it was for the food, for a one-person household, or was required to be at below 300%, but it's now 400%. The threshold is $54,360 for a one-person household, and up to $111,000 for a four-person household, meaning 80% of Ohio households might qualify for this credit. The department has also expanded additional eligibility to students in districts identified as experience high rates of chronic absenteeism or those operating schools designated as low performing. Programs that parents can get credit for include summer camps, language and music lessons, after-school programs, and tutoring. Colleen Grady, Senior Program Officer at the Ohio Department of Education, said in a release that the technology platform used has made the program seamless and successful. The program is administered by the ODE and Merit, a government modernization company that manages the platform. These changes place additional resources in the hands of more Ohio families. Families can visit aceohio.org to apply for an ACE, Educational Savings Account. Educational service providers can also visit the site to apply to be listed as a pre-approved vendor in the marketplace. Once approved, parents and guardians may search for participating service providers in the ACE Education Marketplace and submit claims for reimbursement using a dedicated app. So I just wanted to point that out to our families. They may be able to use it for summer programs or after school. So,
Sorry, can I comment on that?
Sure.
I'm actually familiar with that program.
Oh, great.
And it was a $500 credit, and it was so underutilized that they've made it $1,000 now. And it's so underutilized because it's so difficult to use.
Oh,
They don't
well.
use. They won't accept like It's a day camp, but not an overnight camp. And it's a lot of paperwork, and they've not made it very easy
Oh,
to use. It's
well.
a great program, but they've made it so difficult.
Difficult to
Yeah.
use. That's unfortunate,
That's what you
but
shared with me.
I
Yeah.
wanted to just get it out there for parents in case.
And I have written them.
All right, good. And now, a motion to adjourn. It is recommended that the Board of Education adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye. Okay.
We're adjourned.